Is Wake Forest better than Apex and Cary? What? If you watch my channel, you know I'm pretty partial to Apex. But clients are asking me more frequently about moving to Wake Forest. So today we're putting that question to the test by comparing all three towns across the stuff that actually impacts your daily life. Like, how big is the town? What's your commute to work gonna be like? What are the outdoor spaces like? You got parks, greenways, boating, camping. It's the general vibe in the historic downtown. What are the conveniences in the area? Do you have Targets? Do you have your Chick-fil-A's and McDonald's and all those types of things? And by the end of our video today, we'll have the answers. Is Wake Forest better than Apex and Cary? Here we go. All right, Nick and I are officially on the road to Wake Forest. So Nick, I posted in a couple of Wake Forest Facebook groups and I asked a few simple questions. Why did you move here? What do you love about it? And if you could change one thing, what would it be? And I got a lot of answers, so can't wait. And there was some bickering, it was great. So I'm gonna share some of the most helpful answers and some of the really funny comments with you as we head up here. All right, so here are some of the comments, some of the favorite things. It has a small town feel, but has everything you could need within an hour drive. Most things are even less. I love the parks, the greenways, and being so close to Falls Lake. Good things are a beautiful park called Drainer Park. We're gonna go there today. It's pretty awesome. One said, I moved down here from Northern Virginia about 1.5 years ago. It's a phenomenal place to raise a family. We love that everything is not overbuilt, although it seems to be trending that way, unfortunately. People and neighbors have been nice and considerate. Seems like the perfect combination of having everything you need, but still room to breathe. Okay, nice. Someone said there's so many fun things to do around here and to try. There's many coffee shops that are amazing, good food and dessert places, and fun events that happen in downtown. Then someone responded like, dessert places? What? I don't know of any. So the ones that were mentioned were Heritage Donuts, Saint Honore, H-O-N-O-R-E, Honore. I don't even know how to say it. Probably people are watching this like, say it like this, you idiot. And then Paul and Jack's off Main Street. Another one, I've lived here for 25 years and love it. The town of Wake Forest is pretty quaint. People are so nice. The traffic has definitely increased over the years, but it's still a great place to live and call home. And then in response to that, I've lived here for 27 years. I see the continuing demise of a once quaint town. My husband and I love Wake Forest. My parents moved here from North Raleigh in 1993 and nothing was here, only Food Lion, which we sometimes call the Shady Kitty. No, that's my own input and not theirs. There was no shopping or restaurants. They love all the growth because now they never have to leave Wake Forest to get all those things. They talked a little bit about traffic. They avoid certain roads during school times, school letting out, and they say that it gets pretty quiet there by 8 o'clock at night. I did get a lot of traffic comments. So people talking about the roads really backing up when school's letting out and it being a real pain in the butt now that so many people are living there. But in relation to that, a lot of people were comparing it to other areas that they lived. Like, I lived in Boston and I lived in Miami, and the traffic nowhere around here.
Yeah, it's the same. This is not traffic to me.
It's definitely relative, and people got into that in the comments as they went back and forth, coming from DC, coming from bigger metropolitan areas, that even though there is traffic, it's not that bad. Someone said one of the bad things is there are lots of new developments, so mixed opinions on that. Something that someone said, things I wish someone told me, finding really good authentic ethnic food without driving 30+ minutes has been challenging. The food is nowhere as good here, absolutely no good pizza or Italian places. And then someone wrote, the only thing I can warn you about is transplant Yankees complaining about the food, pizza, and everything else not being as good as back up north. And then in response to that, someone wrote, we mostly just complain about the food. Sorry, we're spoiled, but it won't make me go back to the hell that is New York. Quality of life is greater than quality of food. So what did you think of those comments, first of all?
I think those comments sound like Facebook. I mean, you pose any question on Facebook, I feel like you're going to get 50-50 great, 50-50 negative, and it just is what it is. It's all about people's individual opinions on stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. So there's, you got to come here and visit, I think, to really get a feel for it. But while we're in the car heading up there, let's knock out a few of the big picture comparisons. And then once we get to Wake Forest, we're actually going to go check out the parks, some greenways, and the historic downtown in person so we can give you a real comparison, not just hearsay and hot takes from the internet. Then we'll get real uncomfortable, and this is not my favorite thing to do, but we're gonna try it, and we're gonna see whether any locals will chat with us in real time about Wake Forest. All right, so population-wise, Wake Forest is the smallest of the 3 towns with about 62,000 people today, but it definitely doesn't feel like a sleepy little town, as evidenced by all the traffic and development concerns we just discussed with all the comments. And get this, Wake Forest is projected to reach about 120,000 residents by 2040. So it's basically going to double in the next about 15 years. Both Apex and Cary are larger, with Apex having around 80,000 residents and then Cary around 188,000, which makes sense because Cary is the closest of the 3 towns to Raleigh, so they get the initial urban sprawl and tend to be the fastest to grow. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the commute time to RTP, RDU, our airport, and downtown Raleigh, because you can love a town all day long, but your commute could remind you that sometimes love just ain't enough. Commute-wise, Apex and Cary are faster to Raleigh, RTP, and RDU, and Wake Forest is about 10 minutes longer each way when you're not in rush hour. But during rush hour, Wake Forest can be much more unpredictable, anywhere between 5 and 35 minutes added to your commute versus like 5 to 15 minutes if you're commuting to Apex or Cary. And when it comes to conveniences, all 3 towns are basically like, don't worry, we got you. Need a Target run, Nick? We got you covered. Just a late night, why don't we own a screwdriver in this house? Trip to Home Depot or Lowe's.
That sounds like your house.
Got you. I know. I gotta go now. And if you're craving some of the comfort food classics, you've got every chain restaurant your little heart could desire. You got your Chick-fil-A, Culver's, Cookout, McDonald's, the whole gang. And then grocery-wise, it's the same story. You've got Harris Teeter, Publix, Food Lion, and there's also Lowe's Foods. So you're not gonna be living off gas station snacks if you live up in Wake Forest. Wake Forest does have a bonus though, because they have a Wegmans, and people freaking love Wegmans. I remember when Wegmans was coming to Cary, it was like a big deal. Apex does not have a Wegmans, so demerit for Apex on that one. Now, when it comes to school, the good news is you're not choosing between good schools and bad schools. Both Wake Forest and Cary and Apex have strong public school options. So honestly, I wouldn't even put schools at the top of the list as a deciding factor like I might when you compare some other towns. All right, let's talk about parks. Based on my research, Wake Forest is bringing some serious park energy with spots like where I'm standing right now, Joyner Community Park, Flaherty Park, and Holding Park. So Nick and I are gonna go check them all out, see them in person, and see if the hype is real and how they stack up to some of our favorite parts in Apex and Cary, like Bond Park, Downtown Cary Park, Apex Nature Park, and Pleasant Park. So let's go take a look. All right, as you're checking out the footage of the parks that Nick and I checked out, which were this one you're looking at right here is Joyner Park, then we hit Flaherty Park, and then Holding Inclusive Park and Aquatic Center. So you'll see all of that in this video. And I want to talk a little bit about how these parks compare to those in Apex and Cary. As you can see, this community center is beautiful. We've also got beautiful community centers. Oh, Nick pulling a hammy there. In Apex and Cary, but this is just as beautiful as any of those. Wonderful playground areas. You might remember that Nick told us he used to rope and ride in the rodeo in our Willow Springs video. And so I did make him show us his technique there. But we're still in Joyner Park here. Lots of wide open spaces. I really did love the park. Walking trails, plenty of things to do. Same with all of the other parks. But here's the thing. I don't feel like there is enough here in these parks to differentiate it from Apex and Cary. In fact, you'll get more parks in Apex and Cary they all kind of have the similar things, right? You've got some ponds where you can fish, you've got walking trails, you've got community centers, you've got pickleball and tennis and softball and baseball and sand volleyball, all these things in all of the towns. So I don't feel like the parks in and of themselves would be the differentiating factor for why you would choose Wake Forest over Apex or Cary. All right, this is the moment of truth because I'm standing in historic downtown Wake Forest right now. So today we're doing a real boots on the ground comparison of the 3 downtowns I know best. Apex is my first love. We all know that. It's cohesive, it's adorable, and residents love it. And everything I've seen about the new downtown plan makes me think it's just going to be even more amazing. Cary's my second love because that downtown park is a total game changer. It pulled the whole area together, gave it a true destination vibe, although I still think Cary has a little more growing up to do before it feels truly cohesive top to bottom. So now let's take a walk around downtown Wake Forest and see how it stacks up against my first and second loves. And I'm also going to try to interview some people, which is super uncomfortable for me, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so Nick and I just did a little downtown Wake Forest shop crawl, and I've got some thoughts.
Okay.
First of all, I think it's really charming. It's really quaint. It's got that small town vibe. What did you think?
I second that.
Yeah.
It was a very charming downtown.
Yeah. And I would say that my favorite shop was that Unwind on White. Because I'm a wine girl myself, we had to come into the wine store, which is Unwind on White, correct? And I met Diana, who works here. She told me a little bit about the place. So tell me what you were just telling me. You can pour a glass, you can get a bottle.
So yeah, we have a selection of wines by the glass. They come out of a kegs. We also have our wall of wine. It's by the bottle, and they can be purchased for here. And if you don't finish the bottle here, you can take it home with you. We'll cork it up for you at no corkage fee. And you can always just buy the bottle to go. And we also have some single serves here, some cider, seltzer, beer, non-alcoholic options.
All right, cool. And you guys have a social district down here, right?
We do have a social district. It's Thursday through Sunday, so you can walk and drink with your drinks.
So you can grab your wine here and walk around. I think it goes till 9 p.m.
Yep, that's right.
So you're a participating store.
We are, yes. You can bring it in and you can take it out.
Okay, awesome. And then you were saying not only do you have this adorable little setting here, but you've got what back there?
We have a yoga studio in the back, and it's really cool. We have classes pretty much every day. And then we are the only rooftop seating in town.
So it's a rooftop bar or a full restaurant?
It's just a bar. Yeah, you can bring food in, any food from White Street or anywhere at Wegmans or wherever. You can bring food in and eat it while you drink. But we don't serve any food, just some snacks. We have some small snacks, cheese and meats.
So like charcuterie stuff.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for letting us come in and check out the place.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was nice to meet you.
You too.
You get a wine bar, a yoga studio, and a rooftop bar. I mean, that's like a lifestyle statement. I love that place.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then the coffee shop, Wake Forest Coffee Company, yeah, was adorable. Little local art everywhere, super cozy vibe. And then you grabbed a chocolate chip cookie. How was that?
Wonderful.
I did have a little tiny taste of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
And had that super cool upstairs that was like great for like those work from home people that don't want to be at home but work from home.
And it was like library quiet up there.
We had no business being up there.
We stayed for 2 seconds because I'm like, yeah, we can't be this quiet. All right, so we're in Wake Forest Coffee Company, and I met someone, Megan, who's willing to chat with me about Wake Forest. So tell me how long you've been in Wake Forest.
I've been here since August.
So you're pretty new.
Yes, I am, but I love it so much.
What do you love the most about it?
I love the downtown vibes, the just family aspect, the parks, just there's so many things to do outside and inside.
Gotcha. And if there was one thing you could change about Wake Forest, what would it be?
Oh, I mean, probably closer to Raleigh, but like you can't really change that, but that's about it.
Gotcha. All right, Megan, well, thanks so much for taking time to chat with us and enjoy your coffee.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
And we hit that quirky little hot dog place, Shorty's Famous Hot Dogs, with the crazy hot dog guy and the arcade games in the back, which was definitely interesting, a little gritty.
Yeah, a little gritty, but it seems like a staple of the downtown. I mean, so much of a cool place that I'm actually going to take my family back there.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to get some hot dogs so you can let us know if they're any good.
Yeah.
Clearly they must be good because they've been in business for over 100 years.
Yeah, 1916.
Crazy. Also, you and I commented on how hilly the downtown was, which I thought those rolling streets gave it a really unique look.
Yeah, it definitely gave it a different feel than what we're used to, like downtown Apex. It's a very flat downtown.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of nice to see some terrain, especially when you're on the rooftop at that wine place.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. All right. But that said, there were a few nasty looking empty storefronts. And I thought for a Thursday at lunchtime downtown, it felt pretty quiet. Like it's charming, but it still didn't have that buzz and the vibrant energy that we get in downtown Apex.
True. I think there's definitely some work to do in the downtown Wake Forest area. I think they've got a great foundation started.
Yeah, maybe like 10 years behind Apex kind of thing.
Yeah, I would go with that.
So as of today, I would say Apex is definitely still my first love. Now, it's worth saying that historic downtown Wake Forest is vastly different than downtown Cary, mostly because Cary is just so much bigger and more built out. So I don't even really think you can compare Wake Forest versus Cary. It's kind of like comparing a boutique hotel to a resort. They're just so different.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, you guys, after stacking up schools, parks, greenways, downtown vibes, and conveniences, I can honestly say I don't see a slam dunk reason that someone would choose Wake Forest over Apex or Cary, except one big thing, and that is bang for your housing buck. So when I took a look at the recent sales, Wake Forest is the unicorn combo. They're the lowest median price, the highest median living area, and a newer build than any of the homes compared to Apex and Cary. So you're really getting more space for less money in a newer home. And for a lot of buyers, I think that is the deciding factor that makes the slightly longer commute and all the pain in the ass traffic feel totally worth it. And it's not just me saying that. Some of the participants in that online survey I did shared that sentiment. Even when their budget was over $1 million, they just felt they could get a newer, larger, bigger lot in Wake Forest, and that outweighed the inconvenience of the distance and the commute. All right, so what do you guys think? Are you ready to make the move to Wake Forest, Apex, or Cary? If so, please reach out and schedule a free consultation on our website. My team and I will create a plan that is tailored specifically to you. And that's all for this week, my friends. We're out of here. Bye.